Okay, so we are going to be learning about plant life cycles. We've already learned a little bit about what plants need to survive. So today we are going to actually talk about the life cycles that the plants go through. And you're going to end up drawing one with me. Okay, so if you want to get your Be a Scientist handbook out, it's page 52 and 53 of your hard science handbook. You do not have to get it out since it's right here on the screen. But remember, you can always pause this video if you need to, and if you want to go get your book, this would be a good time to pause it as well. So, plants. I'm going to go ahead and read this. You can follow along with me and just go ahead and listen. Plants. Scientists estimate that there are about 400,000 different species of plants on Earth. Plants come in many shapes and sizes. Although plants can look very different, they share many of the same characteristics. Most plants have at least some parts that are green. Most grow in the ground. Plants cannot move around as animals can. Plant parts. Many plants have the same basic structures or parts. Most have roots, stems, and leaves. These structures help plants get what they need to survive. Some plants have flowers, fruits, and seeds. Seeds can be found inside fruits. Nuts, like acorns, are also seeds. Other plants, such as pine trees, have cones that make seeds. Flowers, seeds, and cones help plants reproduce. So they help them reproduce, which means that they help them to grow another plant. So to make another one. So they drop the seeds and another plant can grow from those seeds or those nuts. Roots. The structures that hold a plant in the ground are called roots. Roots absorb water from the soil. In the process of absorbing water, roots also take in nutrients. Nutrients are materials that living things need for life processes. Some roots store food for a plant. These roots can provide food for people too. Sweet potatoes, radishes, and carrots are roots that you can eat. Okay, on the side here, it's going to pop up a question for you that you have to answer. I want you to answer what was surprising about the roots section. What surprised you? Remember, pause the video or it'll pause for you. Never mind. Okay, you should have answered your question. Now we're going to move on to stems. The structures that hold up a plant are called stems. Stems carry water and nutrients from the roots of the plants to the leaves through the tubes. The leaves of a plant attach to the stem. Some stems also store nutrients and water. Some are soft and green, like the stem of a daisy. Other stems are thick and strong. Tree trunks are stems that are usually tall, hard, and woody. Shrubs may also have woody stems like those of trees. Okay, another question is going to pop up that's going to ask you, what is important about stems? Why is that important for a plant? Okay, leaves. Plants do not eat food like you do. Instead, they use energy from sunlight to make their own food. Most plants make food inside their leaves. Leaves also take in gases from the air and allow other gases to escape. Leaves come in many shapes and sizes. Some leaves are wide and flat, while others are needle-shaped. Flowers. Many plants have flowers. Flowers help the plant reproduce. When conditions are right, flowers produce fruits, which contain seeds. All right, now it's going to pop up a question. What is one fruit that you know that has seeds? What's a fruit that you know that has seeds and that helps it reproduce or make more of it? Okay, now that we have talked a little bit about the different parts of a plant, we're going to talk about how it starts, where a plant comes from, and the life cycle of different plants. So from seed to plant, if you have ever eaten peas, corn, or nuts, you have eaten seeds. Inside each seed is an embryo, a young plant ready to start growing. And fun fact, you were called an embryo at one point when you were growing in your mom's belly. Also, inside the seed is food for the embryo to use as it grows. The outside of a seed is tough, so it can protect the embryo. So as you see in this picture, there's a covering that protects it. There's food stored in the seed, and there's the little embryo that helps it to reproduce or make more of that type of plant. When conditions are right, a seed will germinate. To germinate means to start growing. It waits until the temperature is right and the soil is wet enough. Some seeds wait for months or years before germinating. A germinating embryo soaks up water until it swells. Then it bursts through the seed's outer covering. Over time, the seed grows to a mature plant. So down here, you kind of see that we have the seed sprout, and then it goes to a seedling that has stem and roots and leaves, and then a flower forms, and then the adult makes new seeds. And we're going to be drawing a picture sort of like this in just a minute. Reproducing without seeds. Some plants reproduce without making seeds. For example, ferns reproduce by making spores. Spores are like seeds in some ways. They fall on the ground or blow in the wind. They can become a new fern plant. And unlike a seed, a spore does not have food for its embryo. New plants can also grow from parts of plants. The part of a potato plant that we eat is a tuber. A tuber is a large underground stem. We call the small white buds on potatoes eyes. New stems and leaves can grow from these buds. Other plants, such as onions, can grow from an underground stem called a bulb. A new basil plant can grow from a stem or a leaf that is placed in water. So new stems and leaves can grow from potato eyes. So you've probably seen some eyes on your potatoes if you have some fresh potatoes, where it could actually start growing a plant. So here is the life cycle of a fern. So an adult fern grow and it releases the spores. Okay, then you have the spores that grow into a small organism with male and female parts. And then a young fern grows when cells from the male and female parts join. And then it turns into the adult fern, which then releases more spores. So you see how it's a cycle. It could keep going over and over and over again without stopping because it has this cycle of life. Okay, so now I want you to type any questions from any of that you have. I want at least one question to be typed in there. So I'm going to pause it and you can answer that question. Or ask that question, sorry. Okay, the word germinate means to start growing. So you see a plant here that's started growing. Spores are like a seed. They help to reproduce. Okay, now it's time for us to draw our model. So I want you to get a piece of paper and pencil out. And remember, pause the video so you have some time to do that. You will be turning this in to Google Classroom when we are done. Okay, so we are going to draw our we're going to draw our different phases of a plant. So the first one, I'm going to need 4 parts. So I might break apart my paper like this, or you can break it apart anyway into 4 different parts. So my first one, we're going to draw the seed. And maybe the seed kind of looks something like this. I might draw a little eye there. And then there's a little sprout starting to come out. So not much is there, but there's a little bit starting to go. Then I'm going to go over to this next one, and then we are going to draw the seedling Remember, it starts to kind of grow some roots. And then it sprouts up a little bit more. Then I want you guys to label the stem, the roots, and the leaves. So you need to label them. So if I were to label it, I might do this and put roots. So I already did one for you. I want you to label the stem and the leaves. There's only one on mine, but you can make yours creative and make it a little bit different than mine. Okay, the next one, we are going to draw the flower on this plant. So it still has the seed, it still has the roots, and I want your drawings to be a lot better than mine. Then the flower starts to arrive. So I'm going to draw mine like a basic flower. And then the last one, we're going to draw the adult plant making new seeds. So let's draw the same thing that I did last time. And remember, be creative. You could make yours a potato plant. You could make yours a sunflower. And I'm going to change mine into a sunflower because they have sunflower seeds that are really easy to see. All those little dots that you see in the middle of a sunflower are seeds. And then I want you to label where your seeds are on your diagram. So this is showing kind of the process of how a plant is grown. So you need to do all of this, and I want you to color it to make it realistic and then turn it into Google Classroom. Remember, you can do any type of plant that you want to do, but you need to show it from step 1 to 4, from first to the last, okay? All right, go ahead and get to work. Don't forget to turn it in.